Hi, I'm Lizzie O'Halloran, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about how you can reduce self-doubt. So one of the things that I often hear in my counselling sessions with clients is this feeling of self-doubt and how doubting ourselves leads to self-sabotage and ruining things that we think that we really want for ourselves. So I'll give you a very good example of this. Let's just say that you're really wanting to attract a new relationship into your life. So there's something that you really want, something that you've been wanting for a long time, that you feel that you deserve, that you can have, that it seems like it's crazy that you haven't attracted this relationship yet. However, when it comes to actually meeting somebody else, or when it comes to opportunities to start a new relationship, you find that you are starting to self-doubt yourself. You start to feel like you're not good enough. You start to feel like it's never going to happen, or it's not going to happen for you, or there's all these doubts start to creep up into your mind. And this is very common, particularly in relationships. Another example of where this happens is in business. If you are really working hard towards striving to achieve a particular goal in your business, or even just have started a new business and aren't making as much money as you hoped that you would, well, it's very likely that you're going to be experiencing self-doubt if you're not seeing the results after putting in effort for a certain period of time. The same thing happens at work. If you've been in the same job for ages and you're hoping to progress in your career and nothing's happening, or you see someone else getting a promotion, or perhaps someone else getting a pay rise and you haven't achieved your pay rise yet. Well, these are the things that lead to self-doubt, help us just to reduce our self-confidence and in the end lead to self-doubt. So these are just some examples. It happens in sport, it happens in relationships, it happens in careers, it happens in finance, it happens when we're trying to lose weight. There are lots of different areas in our life where self-doubt can really impact on your level of success. So what can you do about it? Well, if you look up self-doubt, if you look up ways to increase confidence, often you'll hear people talking about how to continue doing the same thing over and over again, and how that increases confidence and how that reduces self-doubt as a byproduct of having done something over and over again and feeling more and more confident about it. You end up reducing the doubt that you feel about your confidence in that area. However, I think what often happens with people is that there's another level to self-doubt, and I think what we tend to forget is that a lot of our expectations and beliefs about our behaviour are based on outcomes, so based on results, rather than on the process towards achieving these results, and that often leads to self-doubt. So let's take an athlete as a good example of this. So let's just say there's a footballer and he's going for a goal. So he's lining up for the goal, and this goal is going to either win or lose the game. So there's a lot of pressure on this goal. Now, when he's lining up for that goal, if he starts to think about the outcome, so the outcome being things like, if I don't get this goal, I'm going to lose the game, or everyone's going to start yelling at me, or my teammates are going to be disappointed, or I'm going to be upset with myself, or a million different things you can think about that could be the consequence of him not getting that goal. What is that going to lead to? Self-doubt, because he's going to start to panic about his ability as a result of a potential outcome. And if it happens that he does miss that goal, then again, further doubt will increase in his mind for future goals and reduce his self-confidence, self-esteem, and so on. However, if the reverse happened, and instead of focusing on the outcome in that particular situation, he just focused on the process. What were the steps that he needed to take in order to get that goal? What are the things that he practiced over and over again, coming back to that repetition? What are the skills that he knows that he has that have got him to that level of elite athlete status? And if he just focused on those things, what's the next step? What are the things that I need to do? What are the processes to getting a goal? Then he would achieve the success, and he would most likely get that goal. And even if he didn't get that goal by some freak chance, let's say there was a crazy wind or something else along those lines, then what would he do to mitigate the doubt in the future? Then look at, again, okay, what can I change in terms of my process? Maybe there was something else I could have done. Maybe I kicked it incorrectly off the boot. Maybe I could have shut out the noise of the crowd, and maybe I need to focus on my mental preparation. So if he focuses on the process, then there are things also that he can do to change the process in the future that will lead to a better outcome. And then that way his self-esteem, so his confidence about himself won't be impacted. So therefore self-doubt is taken out of the equation. Same thing goes in relationships. So again, if you focus on the fact that the relationship isn't there, if you're focusing on the fact that you still don't have that relationship, the evidence is not showing a relationship there for you, then what will happen is, of course, the next interpretation often is, there must be something wrong with me. If I'm not getting a relationship, so if I don't have this outcome, there must be something wrong with me. So like with the sports person, if I don't get the goal, there must be something wrong with me. Instead of thinking about, no, there's not something wrong with me, it's just I have to tweak my process. Same thing in a relationship, we have to tweak the process. So perhaps it's where you're going to meet people, perhaps it's that you're not prepared to meet people, perhaps it's that you're not feeling confident about yourself in general, so when you're out, you're not even approaching people, or maybe when someone's coming up to you, you're shying away because you're not feeling good enough, you're not doing the right things in that moment, or even maybe you're not going out, you're staying home every Saturday night rather than potentially going out, or when someone's encouraging you to go to a dinner date experience where you might meet other people. Again, you're focusing on the outcome, you're worrying about whether that's going to be a success or not, and so you're not just focusing on the process, just being yourself, being happy with who you are, focusing on your own self-esteem, focusing on just being relaxed and happy, perhaps even not even going to places where you enjoy that you might potentially meet someone. So doing things that, hobbies that you want, there is a potential that you may meet someone else who's got similar interests to you, because you're feeling good about yourself and you're attracting friendships into your life that could later on develop into relationships. So once again, it comes down to that same thing. Focusing on the process is much better for your self-esteem and will end up having better results for you than if you end up focusing on the outcome and using the outcome to then interpret your behavior and interpret yourself as a person, which then in turn leads to self-doubt. So in business, this is another really good example. What often happens to people who start a new business is that their expectations are not met as quickly as they would like to. So they are expecting to start making money pretty quickly, or they're expected to have a certain result pretty quickly or within a certain time frame, and those results aren't seen. So what happens as a result of that, then they start to think there must be something wrong with me, or there must be something wrong with my product, rather than thinking, hang on, maybe it's just the process, so perhaps I have to give myself more time, or perhaps it's that I need to network more, or perhaps it's that I need to ring up certain people and put myself forward and get in contact with the right people, or perhaps I need to send my product out to more people, or maybe I need to tweak my product a little bit, maybe I need to tweak the way that I approach people, perhaps the way I'm sending emails isn't the way that it should be, maybe I need to tweak the copy within my email that I'm sending out, or whatever it is, it's process based, not outcome based. So if we focus always on process rather than outcome, and if we really have that as a model that we try and do on a regular basis, we will find that self-doubt really reduces significantly. And this is really important because self-doubt is the killer of your dreams. It's the thing that stops you from achieving all the things that you want to achieve in your life, and from having the success that internally you must believe you have on some level in order for you to pursue something in the first place. And this is very important. It's a key thing to think about. You would not be searching for a relationship. You would not even be looking for a relationship. You wouldn't be looking for a new job, or a career advancement, or starting a new business, or becoming an athlete, or whatever it is, if you didn't believe on some level that you had the ability to do that. So that feeling of confidence was there once, and all that's happened is that you have allowed consequences, things around you, external circumstances, to reduce your self-confidence in yourself and to create this self-doubt about your ability to achieve the thing that you want to achieve. So if you take away that external factor, take away the thoughts and feelings associated with external events and circumstances, and you just focus on what's the next thing I've got to do, what's the process I've got to take right now, what's the next step I have to do. If you just focus there, you will stay in a period of self-confidence, of high self-esteem, and self-belief, which is the key to any successful venture.